Amazon has announced that Amazon Q is now generally available. We talked about the preview of Q in a previous podcast episode at the end of last year, but Q is the company's AI powered assistant for internal teams. So Q uses your company's internal knowledge to help employees be more productive. And there's two main Q applications, what they're calling Q Developer and Q Business. So Q Developer assists developers and IT with coding, testing, and troubleshooting. It can generate, test, and debug code. Q Business answers questions, provides summaries, generates content, and completes tasks based on your company's unique data. So in addition to these two applications, Amazon also talked about a preview of Amazon Q apps, which enables employees to build their own generative AI applications without any coding experience. So Q Developer, the tool has two plans, a free tier and a pro tier for $19 per user per month. Q Business has two subscription tiers, $3 per user per month for a light version, $20 per user per month for the pro version. Now, when I dived into the fine print, it does look like Q Developer in Business have some regional availability restrictions. So I'd say just definitely check out the FAQs that we'll link in the show notes for details as you kind of experiment with them. But Paul, these two broad use cases, developer assistance and knowledge worker assistance generally, seem really, really tangible to me and kind of high value, low hanging fruit. Like, are these areas that companies should be focused on in terms of immediate applications?
Yeah, I mean, certainly a developer one. It's probably not. I don't think our podcast audience has as many developers in it. I mean, maybe there are a lot of developers listening as well, but I think generally our audience is going to be more on the practitioner and business leader side. And so the Amazon Q Business is the one that I focused on a little bit more personally when I was kind of like assessing this. And so I do think that this builds on a trend we have seen, which is that recent research is saying people are going to be more likely to work with generative AI tools that connect to their existing cloud provider. So AWS, still the dominant cloud player, the idea that they're going to make it easy to access your data and then to build these tools you can actually trust and that have high reliability ratings. So they talk about in the blog post about it, that Amazon Q Business connects seamlessly to over 40 popular enterprise data sources and stores documents and permissions, including Microsoft 365 and Salesforce. And then it ensures you can access content securely with existing credentials using single sign-on according to your permissions and also enterprise-level access controls. This is like a really important thing because, I think that on the surface, we all think, oh, it'd be amazing if I could just talk to our data. Like if I could connect ChatGPT or whatever it is to our server or all of our data sources, our CRM. Well, all of those things have permission controls. And so you can't like train a chatbot on everything in there, because what happens if all of a sudden employee X has access to like HR data and can query it about people's pay scales or something? Like, I don't know. Like, it's just data living there, but that data is segmented and controlled. So people have different permissions. So you have to have generative AI chatbots, if you're using them for internal purposes, that follow those permissions, that like walls off certain data so people can't access things they shouldn't be accessing and have conversations about it. So I think just this whole idea that Microsoft, Google, and Amazon have just such a massive potential here to control this market, because big enterprises have to have these things. These aren't like nice to have things. This is essential for them to do a deal with a company to build generative AI into their organization. It goes on to say like some of the use cases, answer some questions on company policies, products, business results, or code, using it as a web-based chat assistant. You can point the Amazon Q Business at data repositories. It'll search across all data, summarize, analyze trends, engage. These are amazing use cases. Like, this is the stuff where real value will start happening with generative AI within corporations if you can do this. Like, I've said this of HubSpot, like that's our CRM. I just want to talk to my data. Like, I don't want to go in and learn how to build custom reports. I don't have the time to learn how to build custom reports. I don't have the time to learn the capabilities even of custom reports. I just want to talk to my data. And so that's where I think we have to get to with all of these products, is like unlocking all of that knowledge that's sitting there, not even like learning about the data, but having it be an intelligent assistant to tell me what to do with that data. Like, what does this mean? So I think this is a step toward creating real value within enterprises using generative AI. The other thing that they talked about is this ability to kind of build your own apps. Definitely a trend. Like, you can build GPTs in OpenAI, you can build Copilots in Microsoft, you can build apps in Amazon, no code apps, so that the average knowledge worker can build it. You don't have to be a developer anymore. If you have a repetitive process, you can build an app using natural language to do that repetitive process for you. So I think these are the things where we get past the disillusionment of like, hey, we've got 100 licenses or 1,000 licenses to Copilot and we're not really getting value. This is the stuff where the value becomes like immediate. So I'll be interested to see what adoption looks like and how this maybe impacts. I don't know if in Amazon's earnings, if they break this kind of stuff out of like the impact and, how many, subscriptions they have, but it'll definitely be fascinating to watch how this plays out.